rashes, nagatulan di kakampo. It was so itchy and every Wednesday, amo ni Chester din niya, the times nga, hanak nga makakanta. But that Wednesday, it's extra different. Very dry di kakangko. Then September 2, I felt very cold. Nga uray naka-long sleeve sack and everything. It was very cold. And during night time, I had chills. Nagpuskol julos ko. Amo yung julos nga nagapo di Saudi kasi nagapuskol. But still, I was shaking. And then September 3, that is Friday, I had a fever. 38.2. Deti ka nga tuwan nga inabot ko. And body ache. Talaga nga di ko natayo tatanga trangkaso. In September 4, that Saturday, dati nag-appear nga rash, ijay arm ko. I thought, I was looking at it, kunak dengue rash ngumhan nga pantay-pantay. And that's what they call a COVID rash. I have that until now. Yeah. And then, it came to a point nga awan ti maangot ko. But I was in denial. Kunak, ay, agpanatagak, sunghan ko ni maangot. But actually, uray iasidag ko ti alcohol, Clorox, awan ti maangot ko. And then, came Sunday, and then, bagbaga ni Michelle, nung tagpaswab kayo, pagbugak pimanhaanan, I consider myself as COVID positive. So nga, I didn't want people to come. I sent my kids into Bangir. And then, I wasn't scared, COVID, but I was scared of the procedure niya. Kung kahit ngayon, madutrod siya agong ko and everything. And so, kinartek, nagsa-search. And thankfully, there is a saliva testing in Red Cross. So, Monday, we went there. Nagpa-saliva testing. I had a hard time. Kurak nung naglaka. Nagdakkel mo dyan tubo. Nga po noon. It took me 45 minutes to fill that up. And with bottle of water. Kat idibas-basa after min nga na-submit, bawal kumagayam nga inom while collecting. So nga kung nga tati mangyari, is a result ko. But during those waiting days, I already knew in me, this is different. This is COVID. Kunak isa'y panunod ko. And so Wednesday morning, kat in my email, and it was COVID positive. I knew right and then, takunak no nag-positive ni Pastor Sam, negative, false negative kasi naging inumak ti danong while collecting may saliva. But still, it was positive. And so, when I received that, ako ma-explain, di marikiriknak. But it just confirmed what I thought. And thankfully, napaspas nga nagtawag iti contact tracer me. But after that, ngayon nagtarayak report to me, agsangsanginak. It's not because of positive act, but for my kids. I was begging and telling God, Apo Diyos, nakita mo, hindi kita pas nagmingag asawa. Spare my kids from this COVID. If it's just me, I can bear it. Iso ti kararag ko, I was pleading. I was really pleading. And so, kinapaspas yung contact tracer me after few hours na pick up kami. I didn't know anya ti nangyari sa balay, anya ti basta dati nga bangles and everything niya. And when they pick us up, I didn't have the strength to even say goodbye to my kids. In my jaylugan kat inshot ko nga dagos jay bagik. But while we were going to Concordia, magtanasip ngat jaylugan agsangsangit because I don't know, ang common jay feeling ko. But where does faith apply during this time? From pleading during that day, I was begging. Kaniya po just si karalag ko nga, I was really begging nga negative dagitin nako. When I went to Concordia, I was reminded of this. Now, faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. So my prayer from pleading went to declaration. I was like crazy, declaring in my sleep while I was in my bed and praying. Instead of begging God, I was telling him, thank you, Lord, that my kids are negative. I've been praying for that. Thank you, Lord, that they are okay. Thank you that you spared them. So instead of begging, it was just declaration and thanksgiving. I was reminded of that illustration of a boy who prayed and brought an umbrella with him because nga agkararag dang agtudo. So naging kasjay. And so the day, I cannot remember the day. I think it's ang common nun yung aldaw nga remorse result. I think Tuesday. The night before that, naka-off the phone ko kat nag-message gayo. Naka-off the internet na message gayo ni Michelle. So that day ngay kat talaga nga iti panagyaman ko kaniya po Dios iti kinaimbag na because from pleading, you know, I started declaring. So even kadagiti da duma kinyayo who were awaiting the results, kat was telling them declare that God will give a negative result for you. And um we have to put action into our faith. Datayo nga Kristiyano baga tayo wala da pamati mi. Mamamingsan kat maliplipatan tayo nga kabilang ti action. And I was reminded of that. And even when I was praying, niya, malaglagip ko ni tatang ko. Kasi din baga kay di nga nagsakit niya ang Jimmy. Nagkararag isuna and he declared that that dengue is already gone. I was reminded of how he prayed with faith. And so I placed that in action. So ngay nga, the declaration, iti, because faith is it's something that we hope for. Kasi the difference na, when I had my COVID test, I knew in my heart that it's already positive. But with my kids, I place in my heart that it's negative. And so, very short lang, that we have to put action in our faith. This time around, nagadungay talaga iti news, nagado iti umay nga balita. But overall, my COVID journey, may bagak nga talaga nga the battle is in the mind. So you have to put J pamati tayo kani Jesus Christ because I vividly remember September 11 idadaak is a Concordia. That day, yeah, I was so sick, being sick. I wanted to give up. Ket ko ngay nga aglusdoy na lang, kaslangon nga kaya. Ngam nalagip ko iti pamati nga ibagbagada. Pamati ka ni Jesus. That I had to make up my mind that no, God has made me more than a conqueror. He has made me his child, and I am free and victorious. Why should I live like I'm beaten up? Why should I live like I lost? I did not lose anything. God has given me victory. Nagigit ibagbagak talaga that day. I wanted to give up, and the brain is the center of everything. Medyo panunot talaga, give up, sumarunot ibagi. And so, a lot of times, during my stay in Concordia, I was really staring, Jay, picture nga ipopost ko. Tulala lang nga kasi, Jay. Para the internet. Tapos langawan ko sa na internet. A lot of days kasi, Jay. But during those times that I would just look out of the window, I just look at the clouds and how marvelous niya. Nga dagiti clouds, nga dagiti they're moving and then suddenly they become black and then suddenly agtudo. Kasi ngay. So, whatever each one of us is going through at this time of our lives, put your faith into action. Remember Hebrews 11 verse 1. Because it's one thing to know and it's one thing to do. Sabali di amum, kan sabali di aramidam di amum. Karamihan kaming kinyatay, di ba? Amu tayo. Like for example, amu tayo nga dapat agurnong ti kwarta. Gam nagrigat nga aramidan. So, you see, there's a difference with knowing and actually doing what you know. So, it is my encouragement for each and every one of you. Anyaman ti pagdaldalanan tayo tadang nga season to put our faith in Jesus Christ. No one alone, nothing alone, timang ited iti hope and satisfaction ti panagbiag tayo nuhan nga ni Jesus Christ. And that is very true. And so now, I appreciate very much dagiti nagbabasit no banag nga itad ni Apo Dios. I chatted ijay kakasingsing ko. Money had no value. Kinyak ideadak di kong kwarta. After how many days, di wallet ko, nagbubuot, but it did not have value in me. Kas langay nga, ano, akti kwarta. What is really important is life. Uray dinagawid kami kani Pastor Sam. Dagi jay kwarta mi ko na ala pwede dagi ti kwarta nagkaiwara lang. Lang nga regular nga papel. Because when we put the sentro iti panagpanunod tayo, panagbiag tayo kani Hesus Kristo, agpwesto di ko na di kanta nga, nothing really matters. Nothing in this world will do. Tani Jesus, isuna iti mangipaay, iti kapya, iti namnama, iti tumunggal na isa kada tayo. And now, I appreciate dagiti health workers, but now in this point of my life, mas ma-appreciate ko isuda. Let me share you this last story. Ije Concordia gamin, no? The doctors and nurses would go inside and take your vital signs, and they will really check you. Sila duma ka no nga quarantine facility, you do it yourself, and you just text them, no, anya ti result ti BPM, kakasay. But ijay, they would come inside. And during my nagsiin mo una nga steak ijay, han ko ngay nga maabot jay kaya't nagamin ijay Concordia kat 95 and above nga oxygen. A lot of times 93, 94 kasay. And there's this one nurse who stood out na when I had a hard time reaching jay 95, she held my hand. And you know, when you are a COVID patient, nobody would want to hold you. Naminig ka na jay imak, minasahe na namin duwa. And inulit naman ang DI test. And with that, I felt accepted, relief, nga someone nga kastoy. I know that won't change the oxygen level ko, but she knows nga DJ comfort with her holding my hand, but she's wearing her gloves, that it would give relief kanya. And she was very accommodating nga update siya nga, ay ma'am, di sir, piman siya ba, bakit okay mat, ngam di uyak na lang. She stood out among all those because she went beyond her duty. And kinyatay mo nga siya, no, when we go beyond what is required of us, we bless other people. We touch lives. Like for those who are teachers, when you go beyond the duty of being a teacher, you will touch lives. If you are a nurse or a doctor and you go beyond what is asked of you, you change lives. You don't just touch lives, but you change lives. So, anyaman iti pagdaldalanan tayo, amok nga ni Apo Dios, iso na iti tumultulong kada tayo. We just have to have faith and believe niya for something that is hantay nga makikita, nga mamutayo nga umay. Hantay nga ma-recruit na, nga mamutayo nga ipaay na. So, I hope you all guys are strengthened, encouraged tonight. Let us always remember, mada pa madi tayo, di tay agdwadwa, apubudno dagiti namnaman tayo. Kat natalagad tayo, nga anda dagiti bambanag, adi tayo makita. Kat dagiti nga bambanag, gahan tayo nga makita. Kat iso ti mapasamak in accordance to God's will in our lives. Before I end, when we received the news, I asked God, I questioned Him. But my question was, ang kung baga nga, Lord, nga apay nga na kami, no? My question was, is this our end, Lord? Or dapat tip aramid mo kada kami? After I asked that question, there was peace in my heart. That peace I cannot explain. No peace ba nga agawid ako yung langit? O no peace nga gapusta, dapat tip aramid niya po Diyos. But now I know that He is not yet finished with us. There's a lot more to do and a much more, many more lives to be touched and many more lives to anchor kini Jesucristo.